Now, if I have two numbers m and n such that m square is equal to n, okay? If there are two numbers m and n such that m square is equal to n, then in this case, n is, what is n called? N is called a square number, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
And what is m called? Here m is called the square root of n. Clear with this?
Yes, sir.
Of
Yes, sir.
n. So for example, suppose if I have 7 square is equal to 49, then what is 49 here? 49 is a square number, isn't it? And 7 is the square root of 49. Clear? Next what is, let's say again, 15 square, 225. 225 is what? A perfect square or a square number. Then what is 15? Square root of 225. Okay. Now we write, in order to denote square root, we write m is equal to square root of n. So let's take example. Just taking the above two examples. Let's say you have 7 square is equal to 49. Then what do we write? We write 7 is equal to square root of 49 in this way. If we have 15 square is equal to 225, then we write 15 is equal to square root 225. Okay, this is the way we write square roots. This is the way we denote square roots. Okay, let me take another example. This time let me take a fraction. So let us suppose minus 2/3 square is equal to 4 by 9. Right? This time we write minus 2 by 3 is equal to square root of 4 by 9. Okay, any questions?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Fine. Now once we know what the definition of square root, we now move on to one small method of finding a square root. In fact, a very inefficient method, but this method can be used in many other techniques to solve sums. Okay, but we don't use this method to find square roots. So suppose 64. Okay, we want to find out the square root of 64. First of all, we try to express 64 as a sum of odd numbers. How do we express? I think I showed you in the last class how to express 64 as a sum of odd numbers. Keep subtracting
Yes,
one.
sir.
Keep subtracting odd numbers. So 63 minus 3, we get 60. You get 60, next is 5. You get 55. You get 55, then subtract the next odd number. Then the next odd number is 9. Next odd number is 11. Next odd number is 13. And the next odd number is 15. So since we are getting, we are getting a 0 here. That means 64 must be a perfect square. Therefore, 64 is a perfect square. And how can we write 64? 64 we can write as a sum of odd numbers as odd number still 15, isn't it? 1 plus 3 plus 5 plus 7 plus 9, 11, 13, 15. Right? 64 can be written as a sum of odd numbers in this manner. Count the number of odd numbers. How many odd numbers you have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 64 has been written as a sum of 8 odd numbers. That means 64 must be equal to 8 square. That means square root 64 must be equal to 8.
Sir, please do the square root of 225.
225 in this manner.
Yes, sir.
It will be very long. Why, you have tried or what? You have tried 225.
Yes,
Try,
sir.
try 225 on your own and show me. If there is a mistake, I will tell you. Okay, this is square root of, so therefore 64 is equal to 8 square we have done, and therefore square root of 64 must be equal to 8. Clear? This is how we find the square root in this manner. But this technique here is not normally used to find out the square root. This technique here is normally used to solve some other types of sums, okay, which we might come across, which we might not come across. I don't remember giving you. But the point here is that normally this method is not used. Okay, this is good if suppose if in your question, if I am giving you multiple choice questions, then this method you may use. Okay, but normally we don't use this method. Just know this method for the time being. We may use it later to solve some other types of sums. Now there are two methods of finding out square roots. If you can see here in the notes I have written, the
Yes,
first
prime
method,
factorization method and division method.
exactly, there are two methods: prime factorization method and division method. We use these two methods to find out. Now this division method you can use for all the numbers. You can use for fractions, you can use for decimals. Okay, now prime factorization method has certain limitations. Okay, we'll see what limitation it has. But prime factorization method has certain limitations. Division method is the best method of finding the square roots. So if no method is mentioned to you in their examinations, if it is given only find the square root of this, then you will do it by division method. Okay, otherwise you can do it by any of the two methods. Fine, but division method is the best method. We'll see how. Prime factorization method. If you see the first question here, first example here, I've given you find the square root of the following numbers by prime factorization. See, the method is mentioned here, by prime factorization method. Okay, so since the method is mentioned here, we'll do by uh, prime factorization method only. Okay, so let's start with the first number. Let's understand how to do this. Now, all this, the prime factorization method that I have done here, you will show it in fair. You will not do it in rough in your examinations. So all this, you will show it in your fair. Okay, you will not do it in your rough. Okay, so first question is, you need to find out the square root of 7056 is the given number. So let's see. When is the number called a square number? When it can be expressed as a product of equal primes, right? Product of pairs of equal primes, isn't it? So let's see whether 7056 can be expressed as a product of pairs of equal primes. So this first, if you divide by 2, you get 3528. Next, if you divide by 2, you get 1764. Again, if you divide by 2, you get 882, 441. Now 441, after 2, what is the next prime that divides 441? You can check to it to be 3. You all know how to check divisibility by 3. 441, how will you check whether this is divisible by 3? Add up the digits.
By adding.
Add the digits. How much do you get? You get 9. Is 9 divisible by 3? Yes. If 9 is divisible by 3, that means this number is also divisible by 3. Right? You have done all this.
Yes, sir.
So
Yes,
441,
sir.
this is the way you will check whether it is divisible by 3. So it is divisible by 3. So you get 147. Next, now check again whether 147 is divisible by 3 by
49.
adding up the digits. It does add up and it is divisible by 3. So now you divide it to get 49. Now 49 is, is the square of 7. So for 7 into 7. Okay, so this. So what we are getting here is, if you arrange this in primes, in pairs, right? So we're getting 2 pairs of 2s. We're getting 1 pair of 3s. And we are getting a pair of 7. Any number that is left unpaired, any prime number that is left unpaired? No. That means all the
No,
prime
sir.
numbers are left unpaired. So therefore, what do we say? Therefore, we say 7056 is a perfect square, right? But our task does not end here. The question here is find the square root of. So we'll need to proceed further. Okay. So how do you proceed? So we write this once again, 7056 is equal to, now 2 into 2 here, this can be written as 2 square, into this 2 into 2 can be written as 2 square. This 3 into 3 can be written as 3 square. And this 7 into 7 can be written as 7 square, right? So that means now all this can be written as 2 into 2 into 3 into 7 square. So therefore, now once we have got this is equal to the square of this, so from definition, if you remember, if m square is equal to n, the one what do we write? M is equal to square root of n, isn't it? So therefore, if you take this number as n and if you take this number as m, then what can we write?
Sir, 84 square.
Therefore, you can write square root of 7056 is equal to square root of 2 into 2 into 3 into 7 square. Within a square root, what do you have? Within a square root, you have a square number. That means the square root will now cancel out. That means you will get 2 into 2 into 3 into 7 only, right? Because you have a perfect, this is a perfect square inside a square root. So therefore, now you can multiply this to get 84. Is this step clear? Everything or any question?
Sir,
Tell me.
sir, how the power got cancelled out?
How the power got cancelled out?
Yes, sir.
What is square root of 8 square? Is 8.
Wait.
How are we removing? Why are we removing the radical? Because there is a square right above 8. That is why we are removing this radical, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Square root of 15 square is how much? 15.
Sir, 15.
Why? Because there is a square inside a radical. That is why we can remove the radical. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Sir,
Let's see. Let me give you one more example.
sir,
Wait. If you have
sir,
wait, minus 5 by 3 square, if you have, what is the square root of minus 5 by 3 square?
sir, minus 5 by 3.
Minus 5 by 3. Fine. Now, yes, now tell me.
Sir, means that, sir, if there won't be any square, so we will not be able to remove the root.
No, then you will not be able to remove the root if there is no square. If you can express it as a square, then only you can remove the root. Okay. Otherwise, there are certain rules later on. You will see. We'll see in higher classes that how to deal with square root of numbers. Okay. These are called irrational numbers. We will deal with them a little later. Okay. For the time being, just know what I am telling you. Next is a number which is 122694. It's a 6-digit number. Okay, so but an even number. So we start prime factorizing with 2. Next, you add up the digits here 61347 and check whether it is divisible by 3. It is divisible by 3, so we'll divide by 3. Okay, so we get here
2 4.
yes 2 0 because you have a 13 here. The 1 is not divisible by 3, so you give place a 0.
Okay, sir.
12, then you get 13. Divide 13 by 3 to get 4, and then you get 12, and then you get this 20449. Okay. Next here is whether this is divisible by 3. No, this is not divisible by 3. So because the sum of the digits don't add up to multiple of 3. Okay, so you try with other numbers, it will not. The next number that you will see is 11. Okay, with 11, it is divisible by 11. 1859. Okay. So this will be again, I think it will be divisible by 11. So this will be 169 divisible by 13. 13. See here, 12264 694. See what are the pairs that are available to you? This pair, this pair. 2 and 3 are left unpaired, right? Now see here, I might have made a small mistake here while prime factorizing here.
Excuse
Okay.
me, sir.
Yes, tell me.
Excuse me, sir. Sir, which means you have written 13 below that
14 below what?
in prime. So right hand side you have done the prime factorization. You have written 13 below that. It would be one, no?
Yes, it should be 1. Okay, anyway, the point here is that we are getting 2 pairs of primes, right? And here what I have done here is that I have divided by 3. I have this is the main mistake that I have done here. Okay, so what you are going to do is you're going to correct this mistake, and you're going to write this as 2 into 3, and 11 is paired and 13 is paired, right? But 2 and 3 are not paired, since the primes 2 and 3 are not paired. What can I say? What can we say?
It's not a perfect square.
Not a perfect square. Or this is not a square number. Okay, this is not a perfect square. So you cannot work out the square root of this. Okay, by prime factorization. You can work out the square root of this by division method. Okay, but prime factorization method will not work in this. Okay, so let's move on. Square root of a fraction. How do you find out the square root of a fraction? Square
Sir,
root of any fraction. Yes, tell me.
sir, we were doing prime factorization. No.
Prime factorization.
Sir, we were doing prime factorization method, no?
Yes, square root by prime factorization we are doing. Now, square root of a fraction by prime factorization method. How to find out? Okay, so you can see this square root of a fraction, any fraction, you can obtain by taking the square root of the numerator divided by the square root of the denominator. Okay, let us see a first example here. 1086 by 121. We need to find out the square root of this, right? So first of all, convert this to a mixed fraction, right? How do you convert this to a mixed fraction?
Sir, it's
And
in mixed fraction, sir.
uh, yeah, improper fraction, in fact. 121 into 10 plus 86 divided by 121, right? This is the way you convert it into a improper fraction, isn't it?
Yes,
Sir.
sir.
So this is 1296 divided by 121. Fine. So therefore, what we are going to do here is, because we want to find out the square root by prime factorization method, we will prime factorize the numerator as well as the denominator. Okay. So therefore, what we write here is 1296 prime factorize this.
Sir,
Tell me.
sir, in exams, we'll do this prime factorization in rough or in fair.
Fair. As I told you in the beginning only, you will do it in fair. Okay. So let's pair these together. Let's say we are getting pairs. Yes, all are pairs. 121. 121 is, if you prime factorize, you get 11 square. 121 is the square root of 11, right? So therefore, what have we got? We got 1086 by 121 is equal to 1296, as I had written above. And 1296, we prime factorize this to be 2 into 2 into 2 into 2 into 3 into 3 into 3 into 3. Okay. So now what we do is we erase all this so that we have a little space to write. Next, we divide this by 121. Prime factorization of 121 is 11 into 11.
11 into 11.
So now what we write? What do we write here? We write it in terms of square, right? Since we have paired everything, 2 into 2 can be written as 2 square. This can be written as 2 square. This can be written as 3 square. And this can be written as 3 square divided by 11 square, which now can be written as 2 into 2 into 3 into 3 divided by 11 whole square,
Okay, this,
right? You can write in this manner.
sir,
Yes,
sir, we can directly write the second one.
you can directly write.
The second one.
Yes, you can directly write the second one. Therefore, one we have got how much? This mixed fraction is equal to this square number, right? So therefore, what should be the square root of this? 1086 by 121 must be equal to square root of 2 into 2 into 3 into 3 divided by 11 square. And because you have a perfect square within a radical, within a square root, so you can remove the radical. You'll get 2 into 2 into 3 into 3 divided by 11. So this is how much? This should come out to be 36, I think, divided by 11. Right?
Sir,
So therefore, the square root of this is 36 by 11. Tell me.
sir, you have done that 2 into 2 in 2 into 2 into 3 into 3 whole square.
Hmm.
Sir, I have done 2 into 2, 2 into 2, 3 into 3, 3 into 3 square root. Then sir, I take out 2 into 2 into 3 into 3.
Same thing.
Same sir.
Sir,
Tell me.
sir, if the denominator will be 2 in spite of 11, then we can cut it.
Yes, you can cancel out the the common factor between the numerator and denominator if there are certain common factors. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Let's see the next one. This time, let's see a decimal number. Decimal numbers, if we are finding out the square root of decimal numbers by prime factorization method, we first convert the decimal to a fraction, and then we work. Okay, so if we have 56.25, right? We want to find out the square root of 56.25 by prime factorization. We are going to first convert it to a fraction. Write this as 5625 divided by 100, because we are shifting two places of decimal here to the right. You know, when you are shifting two places, you will have to divide by equal number of zeros, right? So this becomes 5625 divided by 100. So 56.25 is written as 5625 divided by 100. Now our next task is to prime factorize 5625. We will divide this by the lowest prime factor, although it looks like we can divide by 5 first, but we'll check by 2, which definitely you cannot divide by 2. Then we check by 3. So if you see, you can divide by 3. So we'll divide
Yes,
first
sir.
by the lowest prime factor. So to get 1875, and again 1875 can still be divided by 3 to get 625, and then 625, if you see, you cannot divide this by 3. So you move on to the next prime factor, which is 4. So you cannot divide by 4. Then move on to 5. Yes, you can divide by 5. You can, if you divide 625 by 5, you get 125, and here you get 25. Yes, anyone asking any question?
Sir, I'm saying that we will prime factorize by only prime numbers, no?
Only prime numbers. In fact, any other prime number can also be expressed as, even if you are say even if you're dividing by a non-prime, say 4, then 4 can also be written as 2 into 2, isn't it? Okay,
Yes, sir.
so that does not matter anyway. So therefore this can be written as 5625. Now we can write this as 3 into 3, right? This pair, this pair, this pair. So into 5 into 5 into 5 into 5. And you prime factorize 100 also, or you can directly write it as 10 into 10. No problem. Okay. Let's write it as 10 into 10. Although I have prime factorized here. Okay. 2 into 2, 5 into 5. This time let's write it as 10 into 10. Let's see what happens. Okay. So now what we do here is we write this as 3 square. We write this as 5 square. And we write this as 5 square. And here you write this as 10 square. So therefore 56.25 can is in terms of fraction is 3 into 5 into 5 divided by 10 whole square, right? So this 56.25 has been expressed as a perfect square. So therefore what should be the square root of this? Square root of this fraction? So which is equal to, now that you have a square within a square root, so now you can remove the square root to get 3 into 5 into 5 divided by 10, which is 75 divided by 10. And you know, because see, the question is given to you in decimals, you will also express your answer in decimals. So if this is a fraction, 75 divided by 10, instead of cancelling out the common factors, because you have a 10 in the denominator, you can directly shift a decimal to this side to get 7.5. One place, because you have 10 in the denominator. Is that clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Because the given number was in decimal. Okay. So here also we'll express our answer in decimal. Fine. So I'll stop here.